Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because I am coming over, I'm investigating everyone's homes because we are talking about things that you have in your home that nobody likes and it's time to say goodbye to. At least if I'm coming over, it's gotta be correct, okay? Now the first thing we have to talk about that nobody likes to see in your home, that you comment about all of the time, and well everybody does because they just don't like it, is when you walk into a house and you see a TV. First thing, you see a television. Don't get me wrong, like, it's 2024, okay? Our life kind of revolves around TV. As a matter of fact, I recommend you watch this video on your TV because I look good in 4K. Why don't we like to see a TV when we first walk into a home? Because, like, they're not beautiful. Like, is that the center of the life? The TV is everything? Maybe it is, and that's okay. I mean, like, what are we watching now? Share with me your favorite show, what you're loving, because I'm looking for some recommendations. But televisions can be very obtrusive. They can be, like, unintentionally obnoxious because it's like a giant, big, empty hole in the wall, right? It's like a big black square that is giving nothing, it's doing nothing. Now, yeah, you could do something like get a frame TV. I love the frame TV. They're beautiful, but they're really expensive, so that's not everybody's answer. The easiest thing to do, obviously, is to not have the TV on a wall where you see it when you first enter your house. There you go. But maybe that's not doable. Something else you can do is actually trick your little mind and create some sort of feature that is actually the same color as a TV. So like a black feature wall if you have a niche or a recess, or you want to do some interesting paneling, do it in black behind the TV, and then when the TV's off, nobody can see it. And something else I'm going to tell you about that I personally do find to be offensive, okay, is when we can see your TV from the front of your house, like from the windows. I live in a neighborhood where we walk all of the time. My husband and I love to go for walks. We take the dogs for walks. Cornelius needs his exercise, and Arden just needs to be worn out because, he likes to get up a little too early for me. Sometimes you like see unintentionally, I'm not peeping in anyone's windows, okay? Like, let's just make that clear because there's nothing going on in there that I want to see, maybe except for the decor. You know, you can see inside some people's windows. And there was one person in this neighborhood who I do not know, I'm not friends with for obvious reasons. They had all red mood lighting with like red lace curtains, okay? It was kind of a vibe, kind of giving like a little bit of a Halston energy, like a monochromatic moment. However, in the center of the room, there was a poll for activities, and in the background, they were watching Shrek. So there's just a certain energy that I don't want to experience from your home by seeing your TV from the front of it. You know, like, hey, like Shrek is good. Like maybe you have Lord Farquaad energy and I love that for you. I don't want to see that though. So like close the blinds, close the drapes, like be aware that the neighbors are neighboring. I don't like that and nobody else does either. TVs, they need to be just a little bit hidden because they're not the most attractive thing, unlike me, and we can come up with a creative solution as to where to place your television if you need any help. I am, of course, at your service. You can always book a one-on-one consultation with me using the link in the description box down below, or, you know, doing the thing that needs to be done and going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Okay, I know I kind of dragged you for filth with the TVs, but like, if I can see your TV when we first walk in, like, what are we doing here? Are we throwing a football party? Like, is it the Super Bowl? Whatever that is, I don't know. The next thing that is an issue that all of you don't like, everybody agrees on it, it's universally accepted, except for the people that don't watch this channel, they accept it, but ooh, that's a personal problem. The next thing we have to talk about, the next thing nobody likes, is a shag rug. And I honestly think for a lot of you, it's just trauma. It is just trauma from your childhoods. You grew up with shag wall-to-wall carpeting and you were the ones that had to rake it out. Yes, for those of you that don't know, shag, original like shag wall-to-wall carpet, it was sold with a rake and you had to rake it like outside, like grass. Okay, you had to rake it to get it to like be fluffy and light and like up. I'm like looking at the ground like I could not even imagine. There used to be shag in this house at one point. I found scraps and remnants of it. When we changed out the floors, ooh, I could never. Shag is just insane to me. Like I don't know who came up with that and was like, oh, this is such a good idea. Like it just needs to be extra long, like hairy piles on the floor. Like that's gross to me. I don't like that. Also a shag area rug does pose a problem. Like aesthetically, when they're brand new, they are a vibe. I will give you that. Okay, the energy of a shag rug is very like swaggy kind of energy. It's very swanky, very interesting, and I love that. But you know, when you live with it, when you're walking on it, when you have pets, like it just gets disgusting so quickly, and they honestly just you can't clean that. If you're gonna do a rug, I look for something that is lower pile, whether that's a wall-to-wall carpet or an area rug. For an area rug, I want vintage wool, or I want something that has a low pile that's easy to clean. Like, I don't need to be on my hands and knees vacuuming it up to get the dog hair out of it. Like, absolutely not. I prefer something that's low pile. If you're doing wall-to-wall carpet, cut pile, get the lowest pile you can and the highest cushion padding underneath it. That way you get that really like luxurious feel when you step on the carpet. It feels ultra thick and dense and plush, but it doesn't just like pull apart. It doesn't get flat and smushed. You know, like a frise, like a builder grade carpet, it's gonna look really bad in like 2 to 3 years and you're gonna have to clean it a lot. So I would steer clear of something like that. And the same thing goes for shag. It's horrible. Okay, shag does not look good. Nobody likes it. It's out. It's not just dated. It's just wrong. We should not be doing shag, so we can leave it in the past. And I think everybody agrees. Now, as a content creator, as an interior design content creator, whenever I am looking to up the ante with engagement on a video, okay, and this is a little bit of a scam that I do, but like not really, because it doesn't hurt anybody, I talk about not painting wood trim and brick. And everyone eats it up. Everybody does, because people just don't like it. They just hate seeing like painted brick, painted wood trim, because like why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to that house? Why would you do that to yourself? Instead of trying and putting the effort in to make something work, it's like, we're just gonna paint it. And there's a certain time and a place where it's like, please do us a favor and paint it. If it's like, you know, 80s wood trim, if it's like early 2000s wood trim, like just paint it. Like nobody cares about that. But if you're in a cool, historic old home that's 100 years old, don't paint the trim, okay? Don't paint the trim. It's rude, it's offensive. Nobody likes that, so don't do it. And the same thing goes for brick. Don't paint the brick on the outside of your house. Like, I don't care if everybody else in your neighborhood has done it. Like, let them be that person that has. Like, red brick is cool. It's very interesting. And there's certain types of brick you can paint and certain types you can't paint. I always have to mention that, like, you will literally destroy the brick on your house by painting it if it's the incorrect type of paint. So be sure you're working with a painter to really get that done right, somebody that understands it if you're gonna do it, not that I think you should. I love a red brick house. Honestly, like that's my favorite. I live in a red brick house. I love this house, and I like it because it has red brick, and I don't think I need to elaborate on that any further. If it's like a big brick thing in the room, I don't love that, okay? It just doesn't fit my style specifically, but at the same time, I probably would not buy a house that had that because I don't want to have to redo it. If I did buy a house that had it, I would just redo it. I wouldn't paint the brick because I don't think that looks super elevated. But I will say, and I will give credit where credit is due, that sometimes you just don't have the budget for that, or you don't see the value in redoing it and you're like, you know what, I can paint it for like $100 myself and do that. I also would not do that myself because I just don't believe in doing work like that. Manual labor is not my energy, so I would hire a painter. But painting brick, painting wood trim, don't do it. People don't like it. Unless you're looking to be controversial, like you have no reason to be getting involved in that business. And let me tell you what, if you are a content creator and you know who you are out there, okay, I know you all watch this video even though you failed to hit the subscribe button, but you can paint your brick and you don't have to post about it. I know that's like a revolutionary idea, but if you don't want the comments from people about whatever it is you're doing, don't share it with them. I know, it's shocking, right? Like, you don't have to post everything online, like, groundbreaking. Don't share stuff that you know is going to be controversial. You're just asking for it. As a matter of fact, when we talk about asking for things, right now comes the part of the video where I ask you not to be fake. If you are watching this, please hit the subscribe button, join us, become a part of the LeChic family. We would love to have you here. We talk about interior design. We talk about all things in good taste, and maybe you need that in your life. Get around here. But you should definitely join us. Hit that subscribe button, and if you are already subscribed, please give this video a like and also sound off on what is something people do in their house that you just cannot stand. You just don't like. People do it all of the time, and you are so sick of seeing it. And I also want to give a big thank you for all of our LeChic family members that view these videos, that are clicking on them in the first hour. That is one of the metrics that means the most to content creators. It gets our content shared out there. It's like a giant green flag to YouTube's algorithm, who we are currently battling and trying to defeat. Thank you so much. And I greatly appreciate every single one of you that views a video, no matter when you can, because I understand that you have a life that doesn't revolve around me. I'm not used to that, but I do understand it. So I want to thank you all. Something else that nobody likes in anyone's home, not theirs or anyone else's, is actually something that's super inconvenient and dangerous, and that is a bar stool. We don't like bar stools. Counter stools are fine. Bar stools, no. I don't like bar stools because they're so tall. They're so tall. Like, I don't want to have to climb up onto a chair so I can sit there with my feet dangling. I don't like that. I don't like that. There's something to be said for a bar height counter though, because, you know, if it's on like your island in your kitchen, it's tall enough to hide all the dirty dishes in the sink. I can't relate to that because I just do my dishes, like I just wash them, so whatever. A lot of people say they like that because, you know, their kitchen doesn't have to be spotless at every moment, and that's fine. Now, a bar stool, however, it's just difficult to get onto. And like I said, it's dangerous. If you're an older person who maybe is a little bit mobility challenged, or if you're a younger person who is maybe just, well, not you as a younger person, like if you have kids, I guess I should say, because children are wild, okay? They're beasts. They're gonna risk it all, okay? Like, let me tell you what, you put a hot Cheeto on the counter and those kids are gonna dive for it. So don't be involved with a bar stool and children. I don't like bar stools. Counter stools are much better. Counter height, you know, right there. They're easy to access. And you can have a bar in your house without having bar stools on it. That's an interesting little hack there. And then nobody has to see it. None's the wiser, right? So that's really wonderful to not have bar stools. But counter stools are cool too. Counter stools, bar stools are the most difficult piece of furniture, in my opinion, to buy for a home because most of them are very expensive or don't look good, or are cheap and also don't look good. A little hack I'm gonna share with you, but first we have to make sure nobody's eavesdropping in here, make sure there's no listening devices, okay? I'm not trying to give away my secrets to the trolls. What you can do is you can actually purchase a counter height, like a bar height dining set, okay, chairs and a table. Get them on Amazon, all right? All of the time, they're all over the place. And then you get bar stools that are really cheap and you're buying a set of them. Like if you go online and you look at a bar stool, they're going to be like, honestly, a good bar stool is like $300, okay? And it's like not a great bar stool, it's a decent bar stool. That's where they start, all right? They can go up a lot higher than that. Actually, I'm looking at some bar stools right now that I really like. $1,500 a chair, each for a chair, just with some extra tall legs. Like it's a normal chair with just tall legs. Like, are you kidding me? That's insane. Bar stools are so expensive, but you can get a set, like a table set, and get bar stools so much cheaper. And there's so many different versions, varieties out there with upholstery and different wood tones and different painted tones and colors. It's a great hack if you are looking for bar stools and you want them on a budget. Get an entire dining set. Like you're gonna get the table, you're gonna get 4 chairs with it. Maybe you don't need all the other ones and you can donate them and somebody else can have that, and that's wonderful. Maybe it could be cut down. I love doing that too, cutting down a table into a coffee table or something like that. Genius. Actually, I'm gonna do you all a favor and you can shop my Amazon storefront where I'm gonna create a specific category just for elevated bar height tables so you can find some cool bar stools. Be sure you check it out in the description box down below. Something you all do not like, you comment every time I mention this, and it's one of those things that like you either just have the taste level to achieve this or you don't, and you need some advice and assistance, as in a one-on-one design consultation with me. intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Love that for you in the description box down below. But mismatched flooring. Mismatched flooring happens all of the time because when you're renovating, sometimes you just don't have the budget to do everything all at once. Also, sometimes you're just not moving out of your house to renovate it, okay? So I completely respect that. But, you know, it's like you might have really good wood flooring here and you're like, well, what do I do in there that has bad carpet now? I don't want carpet, I want solid surface. I can't match the floors, what do I do? Mismatched flooring is bad. It just doesn't look good. And I think there's certain tricks you can use that will get you the look you're after, but with the finished details you need. I do not like floors that change levels. It's always a sign of either something that's done on a really low budget where a little bit more should have been put into it. And you know, I get it. But it also is a sign that there's just a lack of attention to detail. Also, it's a tripping hazard, okay? If there is like a thing on the floor that I can trip over, I absolutely will. Okay, so it's just risky. And I mean, I'm 31, I'm about to be 32. Okay, so if it's risky for me, how's it for little kids? How's it for older people? Dangerous. I don't like that. I also don't like when floors change and it's like, this is real wood and that's a vinyl that looks like it, because The real wood is going to make the vinyl look like vinyl. It's gonna make it look fake. As where if it's all vinyl, you know, you might trick the eye a little bit. My husband does this all the time where he'll be looking at a real estate listing and he'll be like, oh, you know, are these wood floors or is this vinyl? Oh, honey, because I could clock it like that. When you see two different floors in the same area or house or they're touching, one is going to be obvious as real while the other one is obvious as fake. And that's not a good sign. You can do like wood floors and tile next to each other. I think that makes sense because they're completely different, but just be consistent about what you're doing. So if you have tile everywhere in your house, but carpet in the bedrooms, and you're like, I don't want that, you could look at doing the same wood flooring in those bedrooms as everywhere else. Another thing that's difficult, what if you have tile and you want tile? Oof, that one can be hard because unless you can match the tile, it's just gonna feel and look different. But what you can do is something that is a similar material. Like maybe we do it in a different pattern or we do a border around it. We do something like a mosaic that has a little bit of travertine in it with another stone. There's lots of things you can do that will trick your eye into thinking it's intentional. Be intentional when you're renovating and make sure you're thinking about the long term as you start doing a renovation if you can't do everything all at once. Something else, it's really, we have to talk about it because it is the pandemic of the design world. It is. And you all know it. You comment this all of the time that you do not like those catalog houses. You don't like staged homes. You don't like homes with no personality or character to them. This is not an advertisement. It is not a commercial. It is not, your house is not getting printed in the catalog for the store you bought all of that furniture from. Like, it's just not happening, okay? So don't be the person that you're like, oh, everything has to be perfect, flawless, every moment. To live life is to have a mess in your house sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and there's one thing that's like, there's a difference between your house just being a mess and cluttered and having random stuff all over the place that shouldn't be. Like, you don't need to leave a pile of unopened mail on the table, but there's a difference between that and just having a house that looks lived in. We like personality. I want to see family photos. I want to see artwork that is personal. I want to know the story of you, and I want you to tell me that. Like, whether something, I might see a vase there and I'm like, oh, that's a really beautiful vase. Like, where'd you get that from? Maybe that is like the score, the deal of a lifetime you got at Home Goods. Okay, is it the greatest story in the world? No. But maybe you also were on some international trip that was fabulous and you bought that, and now I have something I can ask you about. Or we can bond over the fact that we like to find good deals at Home Goods. I don't know. Giving someone a story about something is great, but being like, oh, this is from that store and that's from the same store and I bought that from the same store also, and this is really cool over there, which I bought from the same store. No, like, what's happening? Are you trying to get featured on their Instagram? What makes your home your home? Okay, like, I get that you live there. I get that you pay the bills. Like, that makes it your house, okay? But what makes it your home? Nobody likes houses with no personality. Now, I know a lot of this can be difficult, especially when you are decorating your home. So I have got the answer for you, and that starts with the layouts of your space. Be sure you check out this video right over here. We can get the layout straightened out, and then we can start layering in the vibes, darling. Be sure you check out this video right over here, and I will see you over there.